Hello, everyone. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are in August now, still early August, but August. It's crazy. I don't know where everything's going, but it's going. There was no races this weekend. Okay, so we're not going to have a race to review on this particular episode, although this was the last non-race weekend that we have all the way up until October. So hopefully everyone rested up, or at least, if you had a race, I hope it was a good one. For me, no race, but that marks the end of it. Now we are just boom, 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 all the way till the big day at the end of September in Berlin for the Berlin Marathon. So that is my focus right now. Everything else leading up to it is great. It's all going to be super fun and wonderful. Yes, on Labor Day, my 300th race will come and go. No big deal. Berlin is where we're focused, and so it is about to get real. Like it already is. When I record right now, we are under 60 days to the Berlin Marathon. So you probably can't see the goosebumps that are now popping up on my arms, but trust me, they're there. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about today. And first, when I say this, as I start in, remember, just please, please, please remember, whenever I talk about stuff like this, I am speaking from my point of view. I am talking about me. I am not talking about you. I don't know your story and I don't know your situation. I am not here to judge, criticize, condemn, or do anything negative to any other runner out there ever. I speak for me, and if it happens to pertain to you, super great. One of those if the shoe fits, wear it kind of a thing. But please know, I take no personal shots at anyone when I talk about these things except for myself. And there's plenty of ammo in which to take plenty of shots at myself. And so that's what we're going to do today. So, okay. Last week we did Rock Island, right? Rock Island half marathon. Okay. Good race. I've done it now 2 years in a row. Hot race. So, safe to say, between 2023 and 2024, I was dressed very similarly. Okay. I had on the running shorts, tank top. Really, that was about it. Shoes. What I liked about Rock Island was they had photographers basically at the same spot these last 2 years. There's a cool bridge that you go under, and then it's in the background. They take a picture of you as you go by the bridge. Cool. In 2023, they took this picture of me, and I really like that picture. It's one I used as a Facebook profile picture for a while. I thought it looked good. I looked like a runner. I know that's frightening and not normally the case, but I absolutely looked like a runner in that picture. I thought I looked like I was in good shape. I looked kind of slim and trim and looked like a runner. It was really cool. We go to 2024. The photographer is in the exact same spot. I am wearing almost the exact same thing, even down to very similar colors of attire. They take the same picture that they did the year before. I look at that picture and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look right. I pull up the old picture. I do a side by side picture comparison from this same race, same spot, 1 year apart. Y'all, I was not happy with what I saw in that picture. I look puffy. I look swollen. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say the word. And look, this is not compliment fishing. So don't anybody send me anything. Oh, no, you look great. No, stop it. Stop it. I look fat. I was very just jaw on the floor looking at the comparison 1 year apart picture and thinking, what in the actual hell have I done to myself? Okay. Last year in 2023, I felt like I looked like a runner. I looked slim and trim. This year, I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man out there running a half marathon. And the stupid part is, I ran 2024 20 minutes faster. Now, like I said last week, that is absolutely because of the weather. It was far cooler. And so even in cooler weather, when you look like Stay Puft, you still can run a faster race. Okay. Now can confirm. So this week, since I saw that picture and did the comparison, I've been racking my brain. What's different? What is absolutely different from last year to this year? And it comes down to one thing, and it's going to be the one thing we talk about on this show. And it's the one thing that some runners are freaking fantastic at. Some runners, earmuffs kid, suck ass. Apparently, over the last year, I have crossed over to suck ass. And that word, one word, however many letters, discipline. Yep. Yeah, sorry, folks. This is the discipline episode. This is where we're going to call ourselves out on our own BS when we don't have the discipline to do the things we want to do, where we want the instant gratification rather than reaching the goal that may be somewhere down the road. And guess who's guilty? This guy. And so I start looking, where is my discipline falling apart? And when you start looking to see where your discipline is falling apart, you find all the places where your freaking discipline is fallen apart. Fold, fall in. How about fall in? Let's use actual English. Sounds like fun. So, yes, the first thing I had to look at when comparing these two pictures and what have I done for me lately? I have eaten like shit. There has been a zero discipline in my diet for a while now. If you go back a few months, and I want to say maybe the end of May or start of June, oh, heck no, it might have been even been the end of April, start of May. I said I was going to do a month alcohol free because we know that there's serious health value in having an alcohol free month. You know, drink more water, drink less alcohol, whatever your drink of choice is, you know, whether you're the hard liquor or beer or whatever. For me, beer, talk about puffy and swollen. I didn't make that month. Why? No discipline. I told you guys I had to amp up my training for Berlin. Berlin is now less than 60 days away. Am I logging a crap ton of miles? No. Why? No discipline. A lot of us have fall races coming up, and I know a lot of us, and there's some I've talked to personally, everyone, not everyone, can't say everyone, a lot of the people I associate with, where are you on your marathon training? Oh, I'm way behind. Discipline. We all sometimes go into things with the greatest of intentions and our best notions, and then life falls to crap. Now, where have I fallen to crap? Okay, first thing I said was diet. Diet has fallen to crap because you know what, y'all? Life is stressful. I am a grown ass man with family and responsibilities and ex-wives and jobs and podcasts and daughters and kids and teenagers. I have all the stuff that makes life stressful. All right, well, I can't sit here and pretend like life isn't stressful. Of course, life is stressful. Money, job, responsibilities, family. I mean, you can just make an entire list of all the things that can stress a person out. And what am I? A stress eater. I eat my feelings, I eat my stress. I figure it's better than blowing up on people. So, and the thing that's gotten me lately, again, as I dig deeper into what the hell is wrong with me, potato chips. I am a potato chip whore. It doesn't matter what kind, it doesn't matter what brand, it doesn't matter if they're cheap, it doesn't matter if they're expensive. I don't discriminate against anything that is like greasy and made out of a potato. You throw some seasoning on it, and I'm going to put it in my mouth. Take that for what it's worth. But that has been my biggest point of issue. And you know what? Terrible for you. Also, again, I'm being honest with you guys. I make the mistake so you don't have to. But anyone who freaking knows me for more than 5 minutes know this is a thing. Yeah, I'm still drinking. I will have a beer. I go out and have beers with my softball team Wednesday nights before softball. If someone says, hey, let's go get a drink, my answer is never no. Okay, yeah, let's go. After some races, people go to coffee. Maybe if it's later in the day, we'll go have a drink. Like, the alcohol is still a thing. And again, this is not a cry for help. No, I don't feel I have an issue with it. I'm a very social drinker. A lot of us are. A lot of us are social drinkers. Am I sitting at home drinking by myself at the house? No, I'm not. But if someone says, hey, let's go out for a beer, yes, let us do that. Let us go out for a beer. So no discipline when it comes to my diet right now. No discipline when it comes to drinking an adult beverage. Those are gone. No discipline in my training. I have the whole freaking calendar of what I'm supposed to be running in preparation for Berlin. What did I say months ago on the podcast? If I don't PR Berlin, it is my own damn fault. If we ran that race tomorrow, I am not PRing Berlin, and that is my own damn fault. Can't blame anyone else. So behind on the training, behind on the dieting, behind on the drinking expectations. Where else can I fall short? Well, probably in most avenues of life. Why? Discipline. I am choosing to eat the shit. I am choosing to drink the drink. I am choosing to keep my happy ass in the air conditioner instead of outside pounding pavement and getting miles in preparation for what I feel is the biggest marathon I've ever run. Yes, New York, still my all-time favorite marathon. Berlin feels bigger. It's my first international marathon. It's my first international of the World Marathon Majors. And what am I doing? Again, earmuffs kid, and I know the language bad in this episode. It happens when I get fired up. What am I doing? I'm shitting the bed is what I'm doing. I am not doing the things I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing the things required to be done to achieve the success that I want to achieve. Is this all starting to sound familiar to anybody else? Because we're all in this boat. We all have issues when it comes to our own self-discipline in accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish while still satisfying the things we want right now. And that's what it is. We look at what we want now, not what we want in the future. We do what feels good now. We don't do what we need to succeed in the future. We're an instant gratification society. Nothing has changed on that. And it only gets worse and worse as each day, week, year goes by. With cell phones in our hands and with the internet and with constant technology, everything in instant gratification. You know what is not instant gratification? Marathon training for your next big race. It's not instant. You don't run once and then go PR. Okay, I guess some of you do. We're not all Terry, who doesn't train and will still go out there and destroy all of us at Little Rock. Terry, you. Anyway, we're not all that. And so when we fall short on the training, we are choosing what we want now, not what we want in the future. And so we're making the decisions that make us feel good now, not what will make us ultimately feel better in the future. And so I looked it up, and we're gonna dive into a little bit of an article here written by someone from the military. So if you want to talk about the people who know discipline, you don't have to look much farther than military personnel. And so this is not simply for running. This is actually on Forbes.com, but I found it very fascinating. Military, running, the physical aspect of it. Not saying those are two of that one and the same there, but the physical aspect of it. But this is a guy who has 9 powerful ways to cultivate extreme self-discipline. Find the one that has your name on it. So I'm going to read here. If I have something to interject, I will interject it. It will be simply for me, not them, maybe not you. But again, a lot of this stuff, if you really look in the mirror at yourself, might pertain. So anyway, this is from a guy named Brent Gleason. This was written back in 2020, but I still think it's very effective here. Learning to effectively lead yourself and others all comes down to discipline. Happiness, success, and fulfillment stem from, focus and self-control. It may be hard to believe when you're facing an all-you-can-eat buffet, the prospect of making a quick buck, or the lazy lure of sleeping in versus getting on the Peloton. See, look, it still comes back to running. But studies show that people with self-discipline are happier. Why? Because with discipline and self-control, we actually accomplish more of the goals we truly care about. Self-discipline is the bridge between goals defined and goals accomplished. 100% correct right there. So what was our goal? Our goal is to go out and crush our fall world marathon major, our fall marathon, our fall whatever. As we sit here on early August, are we doing it? I'm not, but are you? Maybe, maybe not. We continue on. I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit in this article. He says there are specific strategies you can execute to learn self-discipline and gain the willpower to live a happier, more fulfilling life. If you are looking to take control of your habits and choices, here are the 8 most powerful things you can do to master self-discipline, which is imperative for life beyond your comfort zone, and maybe even redefining extraordinary. Step 1, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Seems simple, right? But how many times do we sit there and go, what is my strength? What is my weakness? We all have weaknesses, whether they're the desire for alcohol, tobacco, unhealthy food, obsession over social media, or a video game. They have similar effect on us. Weaknesses don't just come in the form of areas where we lack self-control. We all have our strong suits and the stuff we kind of stink at. For example, I don't care for having difficult conversations, lengthy paperwork that involves digging up old documents I never saved in the first place, holding my temper when someone is shooting at me, or calling into automated phone systems. And therefore, I used to actively, or on purpose, avoid these activities. Now I strive to tackle them head on, or I delegate them to others. Never forget about the subtle art of delegation. Self-awareness is a powerful tool for the comfort zone expansion, but it requires constant focus and acknowledging your shortcomings, whatever they may be. I suffered from bad allergies and asthma growing up and had terrible eyesight. Those were some significant weaknesses when considering becoming a Navy SEAL. But so what? I trained hard to improve my lung function and used money I'd saved for LASIK eye surgery. Too often, people either try to pretend their vulnerabilities don't exist or they succumb to them with a fixed mindset, throwing their hands up in defeat and saying, oh, well, know your strengths, but no, more importantly, own up to your flaws. You can't overcome them until you do. So, me right now, what is my flaw? Well, my flaw is my diet. Okay. So my diet is bad. There are things that I want. Right now, they're chips of any sort. Those flaming hot Cool Ranch Doritos, boy, they've helped make me the man I am today. That's for darn it. Shucky darn sure. So, anyway, what are we going to do about those? We're going to go on to step two. Step two, remove temptations. Dun, dun, dun. Like the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. It may seem silly, but this phrase offers powerful advice. By simply removing the biggest temptations from your environment, you will greatly improve your self discipline. When I decided I was going to pursue the lofty goal of becoming a SEAL, everything in my life had to change. If you want to eat healthier, toss the junk food in the trash. Want to drink less? Throw out the booze. If you want to enhance your productivity at work, improve the management of your to-dos. Turn off social media notifications and silence your cell phone. Prioritize and execute. There's a reason I am reading this all so slow, everybody. I hope this is sinking into me right now. The fewer distractions you have, the more focused you will be on accomplishing your goals. Set yourself up for success by ditching bad influences. So, what does it mean for me? Well, the next time I walk around Walmart, it doesn't help that it's at the end of my street. Don't go down the chip aisle. Don't put the chips in the cart. You can't eat the whole bag if you don't bring it home. Same thing. When you're coming home on a Friday night, drive past the liquor store. Don't stop at it. When you go to the bar, order the iced tea and don't get the 26-ounce mug of beer. We've got to be disciplined enough. God bless it. We're runners. We're supposed to have this discipline, yet so many times we fall short. We need to find our runner's discipline and say no to some of these things. Say, yeah, I'm just as guilty. You want to know what I did this week? You want to know what I did this week? Freaking moron that I am. I went to the store last weekend and I buy the stuff that I have to take into the office. Okay. So I have to go into the office 3 days a week now. I hate it, but I have to do it. So I go and I get some lunches. I get food to take with me because there's not a lot of options in the neighborhood in which my office is. Okay. And I saw, because they've got all the back to school stuff out, I saw this big old stand, and what it had was those little, kind of lunch size bag of chips, like 18 of them, variety box, all right there for $10. I'm like, perfect. Okay, so I'll take the box here. I'll take it to work with me. I'll put them all in my drawer, and then every day for lunch, I'll take out a bag. I'll eat the bag with my, whatever the main course, shall we say, is. So I get a little bit of chips, and then I get the main course, and that's lunch. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, done. I'm in the office 3 days a week. There's 18 bags. This should last me for quite a while, right? They're gone in 3 days. All 18 bags. They're gone. That's all I did for 3 days, was sit there at my desk and eat chips. Now, I can say, yes, it's a discipline issue, but another thing, and again, something to just keep in mind, if it pertains to you, super great. If it doesn't, super great. I am a bored eater. All right, I'm a stress eater. I'm a bored eater. Can you tell eating is kind of my jam when things aren't like just perfect? So I'm bored. And look, we'll see if anyone from my employer happens to listen to this. Y'all, I hate being in the office. I hate it. I sit in my little cube in the little fluorescent tomb of death. I hate being there. I'd much rather be at home, which I am on Mondays and Fridays. I'm more productive and I'm happier in my big office as opposed to a little cube. And so, yeah, unless I am actively sitting there working on this something, I grab a bag of chips because I'm freaking bored, man. Like I need something to do, something to eat, something to get me out of this doldrums of sitting, in this one this one little cube on this 6th floor, this big building around a whole bunch of people I don't get two shits about. And that's just honesty. I've told them this. Trust me, if my boss were to listen to this and be like, yeah, he has said every bit of this to my face and people above me's face. And I have, because I believe it. So it doesn't help, lack of discipline, that when I am bored at work, or I'm just unengaged, or I'm understimulated, or I'm just pissed off because I'm there, 18 little snack bags of chips in 3 days. No wonder I'm puffy. No discipline. Let's move on. Step 3. Come on, work. Tablet. Set clear goals and have an execution plan. If you hope to achieve greater degrees of self-discipline, you must have a clear vision of what you hope to accomplish, just like any goal. You must also have an understanding of what success means to you. After all, if you don't know where you are going, it's easy to lose your way or get sidetracked. Remember to prioritize. At Taking Point Leadership, I'm not sure what that is, when we work with our corporate clients, whoa, don't move on me, tablet. Sorry, where'd it go? Yeah, there we go. Okay. At Taking Point Leadership, when we work with our corporate clients on strategic planning, execution, and organizational transformation, we remind them that having 10 priorities translates to no priorities. Okay, I see what you did there. A clear plan outlines each time-bound step you must take to reach your goals. Create a mantra to keep yourself focused. Successful people use this technique to stay on track. Emotionally connect to their mission and establish a clear finish line. A clear finish line. We're freaking runners. You got that? We should be able to, if you think about it in the form of a race. We don't have multiple finish lines during a race. We have a start, we have a finish, and we do everything we can in the middle to reach that goal at the end. We're not just saying, oh my God, I can't wait to get to aid station 1. This is going to be such a huge accomplishment for me. No, we don't give a shit about aid station 1. We get our water, we get our Gatorade, we pour something over our head, and we go because the finish line is over there. So this actually makes sense in that. And it's like I saw a meme the other day where it says, just focus on the next step. Don't focus on the whole staircase. I really like that. And if I can find it, I'll post it on our Instagram account. But yeah, just focus on your next step and not the entire staircase. Like if your step is to finish this race, then finish this race. Don't worry about the next race or the one after that or the one after that or the one after that or the one all the way down the road. And again, there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. You can take it as small chunks, or you could say, no, the actual finish line I'm trying to get to is Berlin. And all these are steps along the way. It depends on what motivates you, what is going to help your discipline on how you need to think about steps. But they say set clear goals. So I guess you could call those steps, you could call the finish line, yeah, whatever works for you. Step 4, practice daily diligence. This one's going to have a lot of our names written on it. We aren't born with self-discipline. It's a learned behavior. And just like any other skill you want to master, it requires daily practice and repetition. It must become habitual. But the effort and focus that self-discipline requires can be draining. As time passes, it can become more and more difficult to keep your willpower in check. The bigger the temptation or decision, the more challenging it can feel to tackle other tasks that also require self-control. So work on building your self-discipline through daily diligence in a given area associated with a goal. This goes back to step 3. In order to practice daily diligence, you must have a plan. Put it on your calendar, your to-do list, tattoo it on the back of your eyelids. Never thought of that one. Whatever works best with you. With practice, anyone can push the boundaries of their comfort zone every day. Again, all true. That's why I chose this article. It seems to all be true, whether we like it or not. Step 5, create new habits and rituals. Acquiring self-discipline and working to instill a new habit can feel daunting at first, especially if you focus on the entire task at hand. To avoid feeling intimidated, keep it simple. Break your goal into small, doable steps. Instead of trying to change everything at once, focus on doing one thing consistently and master self-discipline with that goal in mind. So, if you're trying to get back on your marathon training plan and you're also trying to get your diet right, focus on one right now. Get yourself eating correctly, and then get yourself back to running 4 days a week. All right. If you try and do it all at once, you're going to burn out real quick. Okay. I'm going to cut out all the food, but I'm going to up my training. Well, your body's going to be pissed. Let's just be real honest. So get your diet right. Get some runs in, but get your diet right. And then once you feel like, okay, I got this on lock, start increasing your miles gradually. Don't get stupid. Don't go out there and get crazy. You're not going to do yourself any favor. All right. It's hard to cram for a test when it's like this. And also going back to something he says, yeah, when you're starting a 16-week training program, it is really hard to stay into it because 16 weeks feels like so long. It's not, but it feels like forever. So it's hard to maintain that commitment and that focus for the entire 16 weeks. So if you have fallen off, and we all have, Try and pick yourself back up. Get re-engaged, get refocused, refine the passion, re-look at the finish line. Go to the website of the race you're about to run. Go read all about it. Look at pictures. Get yourself re-energized for why you wanted to do that race in the first place. Chicago Marathon, New York Marathon, Berlin Marathon, Garmin Kansas City Marathon, IMT Des Moines Marathon, whatever marathon you're training for, go to their site. Start getting yourself fired up. Go look at this year's swag. Be like, oh, that's right. I forgot that IMT was doing these awesome puffer jackets for the finishers of the marathon. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready for that. I want that jacket. That jacket's awesome. So let me, get re-energized. I would suggest that. It works for me. I was actually just on the Berlin site this week, just looking to see if there was any merch for sale. They had added any new articles, any new information, but it helps you to kind of get refocused up. All right, next, number 6. Change your perception about willpower. If you believe you have a limited amount of willpower, you probably won't surpass those limits. As I mentioned previously, studies show that willpower can deplete over time. But what about changing that perception? The SEAL candidate who believes they probably won't make it through the training won't succeed. Why assume our will to win can only take us so far? When we embrace the mindset of unlimited willpower, we continue to grow, achieve more, and develop mental toughness. It's the same philosophy as setting stretch goals. In short, our internal conceptions about willpower and self-control can determine how disciplined we are. If you can remove these subconscious obstacles and truly believe that you can do it, then you will give yourself an extra boost of motivation toward making those goals a reality. Agreed. Can't really add anything to that. That's well said. Step 7, give yourself a backup plan. Okay, now this may pertain to you, may not. In the SEAL teams, we always have contingency plans. Psychologists use a technique to boost willpower called implementation intention. That's when you give yourself a plan to deal with a potentially difficult situation you know you will likely face. To be clear, I am not referring to a backup plan under the auspices that you'll probably fail at plan A. Let's say you aspire to become a trapeze expert, but tell yourself, well, I'm probably not going to excel at this, so chances are I'll be sticking with miniature golf. That's a lame backup plan wrapped in mediocrity. We are talking about contingencies for, intentional course correction, not planning for failure. So be bold and keep moving forward. Going with a plan will help give you the mindset and self-control necessary for the situation. You will also save energy by not having to make a sudden decision based on your emotional state. So as I was reading that, and you could tell because I was fumbling all over it, I was trying to think of a really good example in the running world. And again, I call no one out on this, but I know there are those who are looking at the race they're doing, Berlin, Chicago, New York, whatever. They're already starting the what ifs. What if I can't finish? What if I'm not within the time frame? What if this? What if that? When you start letting those thoughts creep in, and I've had them myself, when you let those creep in, it can affect your game. All right. And then you're trying to come up with a contingency plan. Okay, well, and I've heard this, not from anyone I know, but I've heard this just out about in the running world. And I think it was at Chicago in 2018. Someone was saying, if I can't finish, or if the sweep is behind him, or if the finish line was torn down, it was a time limit thing. If I can't finish, I'm just going to turn and veer off here. And not even cross the finish line. Their contingency was just to quit. Just, oh, I can't do it. I quit. I would never let that enter your mind during a race. And there's been times where I thought, this could be my first DNF. Don't let that stuff in. That's ridiculous. Here's the thing. What you're going to tell yourself, and then what you're going to do is, okay, I got 6:15 at Berlin. I'm going to be done in under 6:15. I'm going to be done in 5:58. I'm going to be done before that sweep truck catches me. I'm going to be done before they close Brandenburg Gate. Whatever, man. Whatever. The New York people, and you guys will find this, anyone going to New York this year. So New York is always on daylight savings time. The day of daylight savings time where we lose an hour of light, it is always that. So what you'll hear New York marathon runners say, I want to beat the sun. Because you start so late, you may not start the race until 11 o'clock in the morning. If you're a 6 hour, you could be finishing in the dark. So a lot of people will try and beat the sun. I didn't beat the sun in 2021. No, it was pitch black by the time I finished. And when you're going through Central Park in the pitch black, it's an interesting experience, let me assure you. So you find that goal and then tell yourself you're going to do it, because if you're already looking for the outs, you're going to find the outs more than you're going to find the goal. It's so much easier to quit or half-ass than commit and move forward and go nuts about it. So again, just that's Kyle speak. Do with it what you will. Step 8, find a trusted coach or mentor. The development of expertise requires coaches who are capable of giving constructive, even painful feedback. Real experts are extremely motivated students who seek out such feedback. They're also skilled at understanding when and if a coach mentor or mentor's advice doesn't work for them. If you guys are wondering why I can't read, you see how I'm looking at this? My big giant light is right behind me over here to try and keep this thing lit. And yeah, it makes it really hard to see the screen with a big shiny light behind it. So sorry about that. The elite performers I've known and worked with always knew what they were doing right while concentrating on what they were doing wrong. They deliberately picked unsentimental coaches who would challenge them and drive them to higher levels of performance. The best coaches also identify aspects of your performance that will need to be improved at your next level of skill and aid you in preparation. So, not everyone wants a running coach. I get that. I've never officially used a running coach. I know now I am one, but I've never used one. So I get that some people don't want to do that. But if you want a running coach, get a running coach. If you think that will help you, then that'll help you. You also can go with a mentor, as it says. Maybe not a coach, and maybe not to hold you to the technical side of it, but to hold you to the accountability side, to the emotional side, the get your ass out there and get the miles because I said so side. Okay. Well, the coach is going to tell you do this, do that, do the other. Your buddy, your mentor, your friend, your running family, whatever will say, hey, lazy ass, move. Or hey, we're all going on the group run. You got to be there because you've got to get in 6 miles today. All right. So whatever works for you, everyone gets motivated by different things. Some people need the drill sergeant. Some people need the person who will yell and scream and berate you and fire you up and say, hey, you lazy sack of shit. You're going to get out there. You're going to run right now, you POS, or I'm going to come over there and I'm going to put my foot up your ass. Okay. There are those, and there are people who need those. There are also the people, all right, hey, you know the race is coming up. All right, we got to focus up. We got this. We're going to do this together. You and I, we're going to go. We're going to get our 6 miles. This is going to get you ready for your next race. And so you know what? When we're done, we're going to go get tea. And all right, come on. We got this. Let's do this thing. So there's all different kinds of mentors and motivators. Find what works for you. If you need me to be one of those, just let me know. I can be either one. I can either be super supportive or I can be super a-hole. Whatever. I'm good like that. All right. And then the last one, and I like this one as well. Step 9, forgive yourself and move forward. Even with all our best intentions and well-laid plans, we sometimes fall short. It happens. You will have ups and downs, great successes, and dismal failures. The key is to keep going. A very close SEAL buddy of mine has had a lifelong dream of not just serving in the SEAL teams, but also making it to our Tier 1 Special Missions unit. He has every qualification this unit could possibly want, but for some reason, they didn't select him on his first application attempt. Did he wallow in sorrow? Not for 1 second. He immediately developed a plan to request even more schools, train even harder. He transferred to a different SEAL team for a better chance to get picked up next time. And then it said, yeah, picked up next time. Easy day. If you stumble, find the root cause by asking the 5 whys and move on. Don't let yourself get wrapped up in guilt, anger, or frustration, because these emotions will only drag you further down and impede your future progress. Learn from your missteps and forgive yourself. And then get your head back in the game and violently execute. Good luck. Love it. I love it. Again, if you're going to talk about anything discipline-wise, you go to military. At least that's my default. But all of these pertain to us. These are all issues that I know many of us are dealing with. Again, I'm not calling anyone out, but I do have conversations with people. And I know we are all struggling right now. Fall marathon training, I think, is the most difficult because you have to train in the heat of the summer. Spring marathon training can be difficult, but you're training in the heart of the winter. And as long as there's not ice out there, easier to train in cold than hot. My opinion. You guys could disagree. So That's where we are in discipline. I am calling myself out in hopes that I can absolutely improve myself over the next however many days until Berlin. I need to. It very much helps that we're starting to get back in. We're actually going to be starting to get into the heart of fall running season. I know that sounds weird to say sitting here in August, but we are. There's, again, last weekend without a race. We've got the Run to Bless next weekend. After that, we have Rexy Run. After that, Heart for Ronald McDonald House Charities. After that, Head for the Cure. After that, Leewood Labor Day 5K. After that, Heartland 30K series. After that, Berlin. Every weekend from this point forward has a race. If you want to know where we are going to be at, make sure you go to the website, www.botppod, back of the pack pod.com. Go to our calendar. It says back, where will the back of the pack be, or back of the pack calendar, what BOTP calendar, I think is what the actual tab says. Click on that. You're going to see it. If you actually click on the event, if I write any notes in there, you'll see that as well. We in October are going to 3 different race expos. So we are going to be in 3 places in October, and I really hope that we're going to see you there. We are going to, the first one is going to be at the beginning of October, the Missouri Cowbell Marathon. That is in outside St. Louis. We're going to be at their expo for 2 days. We're going to come back. We're going to be at the Garmin Kansas City Marathon Expo. We just got that worked out. That is done deal. So we'll be at Union Station for 2 days in mid-October for the Garmin Kansas City Marathon Expo. And then at the end, yes, for all of the Good Life Habsy folks, we will be at the expo. We will have the table right there so we can meet you all, greet you all, and get ready for what is going to be an amazing race at the end of October, the Good Life Habsy. Our team is up to 65 people. 65 runners have signed up for the Back of the Pack podcast team. We are the 3rd biggest group going up there, and we're not even from Lincoln, Nebraska, so that's super cool. And again, anyone who's joined that team, thank you all so very much. But October is going to be busy. September is going to be busy, and August is about to pick up. And that's fall. Like, that's fall running season right there. So it's going to get wild. And then once we're back from Good Life, we're already into the holidays, and we're just going to kind of see how things go. But yeah. So I guess in closing, and I know this has been a long episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it. We're not going to be perfect. None of us are. All I would suggest, and like, so many of the things they said, but find where you're failing. Okay. I know where I'm failing. I've found it. Now you have to change the behavior. I found out where the problems are. I have to change the behavior. For me, I need to eliminate the temptations. Quit going to the bar. Quit going down the chip aisle. Quit eating the junk food. Eat a protein shake when you're hungry. I got to find out the solution to bored eating. I don't have it right now, but I have to find it. But it's a thing. So look at where you are falling short and start to come up with a plan to fix the behavior. I think the running part, the getting back into it, the training, I think that's going to take care of itself. If we can start eliminating these other speed bumps that are kind of getting in our way of the training. Because if your diet is bad, your energy is low. If your energy is low, you're not going to go for your training run. Fix your diet, increase your energy. Running's no problem. Okay. The drinking. If you're drinking a little too much and you're on your ass the next day, or just not feeling it, then you're not getting out in your training. Eliminate the drinking, get off your ass, go train. You see, I kind of feel like these steps are connected. So first identify, then fix. All right. And if you guys need accountability, if you have a question, if you just want Kyle's perspective on something, dear God, please reach out. We're all in this nonsense together. Every single one of us who are training for a fall race, if you're already training for a spring race, if you are just hoping to ease into this community and figure shit out, this is a problem you're gonna deal with at some point in time. It is inevitable that you will deal with this problem, but we do have solutions to said problem. So we just got to act on them. Okay. So that's going to do it. I think that's it. I would love feedback. If you agree with anything I said, disagree, want to throw in your own perspective on it, we're here for all of it. Respond, on the Facebook when we post the video, there's the comment section. Hit it, baby. If you want to send me a message, you can either do it through the website or you can do it on social media. Send me a message. I will gladly put it on the air if it's something you want shared with everyone. We as the running community have to take care of each other. And sometimes that means we have to police each other. And when we are falling flat, when we are failing ourselves, you can almost say, and I certainly say, we're failing our running community and we're failing our running family. I feel I have failed my run fam, and I have failed you guys as the lovely listeners of the Back of the Pack podcast. This podcast is growing. And the reason I think it is growing is because I'm out there doing the stuff with you. I am not just a voice in the darkness. I see you at the events and I see you at the expos, and I love meeting everyone. That's why I think we connect so well and why I think this community is growing. But when my happy, puffy ass is eating like crap, drinking stupid, and not running to the best of my abilities, I've said for the last few weeks, all my runs have just been average. Okay, well, that's on me. I feel like I'm failing you guys because I'm not living that runner lifestyle that I would like us all to run for our best chance for success. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. If you feel like you're letting yourself down, I get it. I feel like I'm letting the whole run fam down. So we're all going to correct our behaviors. All right. I've called it out. I've called it out. I've called out what I'm doing wrong. You're going to take a look at what you're doing wrong. We're going to identify our problems and we're going to fix the behavior. We're going to be disciplined about it. We're going to get off our asses. We're going to put down the bad stuff. We're going to get back to running, and everyone's going to crush their freaking fall marathon. Deal? Deal. Let's go. Anyway, this has been another episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. It is my pleasure, as always. I believe in y'all. I believe in what we're doing, and I believe we're going to crush it come fall. We will see you next week at the Run to Bless in Greenwood, Missouri. After that, Rexy Run. Be there. Be at Rexy Run. I've said that before. Everyone have a safe week of training. We'll see you next week.